my Gunna preset, link in bio. With that Lamborghini, the 2-seater like I drag. I can put some pushy on cushy, yeah, I'm nasty. I've been getting them love all my career, this year I'm texting. Don't let that go over your head, let it sink in. Have them top your dreads, let that sink in.
10 million on a check, all I need is a pen. Think I better get rest, have my patience then. You can tell by the way they dress on the latest trend.
Alright, so if you like the way that sounded, I'm going to be breaking down this vocal chain and showing you how I got this sound exactly. So first things first is I use my industry recording template to map out my main vocals, my ad-libs, my doubles, reverb, delay, and just save me a bunch of time in the recording and the mixing process. And basically, once I got the stems for the actual song, I started recording my vocals, and as you can see, I have my main vocals here, and then I have my ad-libs here. So if you guys also want to get this industry recording template, it'll be in the description. Use code for 10 or 20% off or something. But as far as the vocal chain, I'm basically starting out with auto-tune. I'm using auto-tune EFX, but any auto-tune or pitch correction will work. Pretty low routing speed, no humanize. Then I'm moving on to my first EQ, the Pro QR, basically just cleaning a little bit of the lows, boosting a bit of those mids and highs. And then I'm going to my first compressor, the R compressor, doing moderate compression, pretty fast attack, pretty medium release. Then I'm moving on to my second EQ. This is an analog EQ, it's an SSL channel, really good EQ. But basically all this is doing is it's cleaning a bit more of those lows and then pushing a little bit of those highs, like 3 decibels, nothing crazy. Right, and then after that, I'm going to my second compressor, which is a CLA 76. This is a great plugin, great compressor for adding body in your vocals. And then after all that boosting, you want to control those harsh E's and S's. So we're going to be using a de-esser at like 24%. Nothing crazy. Then I'm using this free plugin called the Fresh Air. This is a great plugin for adding mids and highs into your vocal. After that, I'm using another Pro QR for some multi-band compression. Basically just controlling a bit more of those lows at like 170 hertz. And you guys don't need the Pro QR to do that. You can also use like the C4 or the C6. I think even FL has its own multi-band compressor. But after that, I'm moving on to my studio rack or studio verse where I have a Puke Tech just to add a bit more clarity in the highs. Then I have an NS1. This is a noise suppressor. And typically I have this in the beginning of the vocal chain, but I just added it later, I guess. And then I added a L1 just to give the vocal a bit more body, a bit more volume, because you got to remember that I'm trying to recreate an already mastered song. And then after that, I'm finishing up the vocal chain with a S1 imager just to kind of add some stereo separation. Then of course, I'm busting this out to a reverb and delay. For the reverb, I'm using Bahala Vintage Verb, probably my favorite reverb. And then for the delay, I'm using Itch Delay, pretty standard. And at this point, it was sounding pretty good, but I felt like it was still missing a little bit of body. So I went ahead and busted it into another insert where I basically have a 1073 emulation. It won't load, but it's basically just a 1073 emulation. Then I have a Saturn. This is a saturation plugin. It just adds like presence in the vocal. And you don't need this, but I just think that it gave me like a good amount of body that I was looking for. And that was pretty much it for the main. As far as the ad-libs, it's pretty much the same thing. I just copied it over, but I took down the volume a bit more. Then I added a bit more reverb, but that's pretty much it for the ad-libs, nothing crazy. Oh yeah, and then I also separated it like 30%. So just to give it more separation from the main vocals, but that is pretty much it. And I'll have this whole preset in the description if you guys want to get it for yourselves. And I'll go ahead and play the before and after, and then we'll close out this video. But this is before with no plugins, no preset.
That Lamborghini, the 2-seater like I drag. I can put some pushy on cushy, yeah, I'm nasty. I've been getting them love all my career, this year I'm
And now after we enable the plugins, this is what it sounds like.
With that Lamborghini, the 2-seater like I drag. I can put some pushy on cushy, yeah, I'm nasty. I've been getting them love all my career, this year I'm texting. Don't let that go over your head, let it sink in.
And yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. If you guys want me to recreate any other songs from Gunna or any other artists, just go ahead and comment down below. That'll be it for this video.